Have you ever been in an elevator, looked at the buttons, and noticed something? Missing UC 11, 12. Then it jumped straight to 14. Where did floor 13 go? Is this some architectural glitch? A secret society's headquarters? Or just a widespread prank? Today, we're taking the elevator up to uncover the truth behind the mysteriously missing 13th floor. The answer, as you might have guessed, isn't about structural engineering or secret government plots. It's all about a very old and very human feeling. Superstition. Specifically, triskaidekaphobia, which is the fear of the number 13. This fear isn't a modern invention. It has roots stretching way back in history and across different cultures. So where does this fear come from? Let's look at the evidence. In Norse mythology, there's a famous story about a banquet in Valhalla. 12 gods were invited, but Loki, the god of mischief, crashed the party as an uninvited 13th guest. His arrival led to chaos and the death of the beloved god Balder. This tale is often cited as one of the earliest examples of 13 being associated with bad luck. Then there's the Christian tradition. At the Last Supper, there were 13 people at the table Jesus and his 12 apostles. One of them, Judas Iscariot, would go on to betray Jesus, leading to the crucifixion. Because of this, having 13 guests at a dinner table has been considered a bad omen for centuries, with the superstition that one of them would pass away within the year. Even the day of the week matters. The combination of Friday and the number 13, known as Friday the 13th, is a double whammy of bad luck for many. But how did this ancient fear make its way into modern skyscrapers? It's really a story of customer psychology and marketing. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, as cities like New York and Chicago began to build upwards, developers ran into a very human problem. They could build these magnificent, tall structures, but they also had to convince people to live and work in them. Imagine you're a potential tenant back then. You're already a bit nervous about being so high up in the air. Now, would you want to sign a lease for an apartment on the unlucky 13th floor? Probably not. Building owners and developers quickly realized this. They weren't necessarily superstitious themselves, but they were practical business people. They knew that a floor labeled 13 would be harder to rent or sell. People would either refuse to live on it, or they would demand a significant discount. Faced with this, the solution was simple and surprisingly effective. Just skip the number. They labeled the floors going from 12 directly to 14. Sometimes, they'd get a bit creative, calling it 12A, or using the letter M, which is the 13th letter of the alphabet. The physical 13th floor still exists. Of course, it's just given a different name. It's a classic case of perception being more important than reality. The goal was to eliminate any potential anxiety for tenants and buyers, making the building feel safer and more desirable. This trend became so common that by the early 20th century, it was almost standard practice in many American cities. Hotels, in particular, adopted this practice enthusiastically. The last thing a hotel owner wants is a guest who feels uneasy or unlucky during their stay. So, removing the 13th floor button from the elevator panel became a simple way to cater to superstitious guests and avoid any potential complaints or bad reviews. You might be thinking, okay, that was 100 years ago. Surely we're over this by now. Not entirely. While it's less common in new construction today, especially outside of North America, the tradition persists. A survey by the Otis Elevator Company estimated that about 85% of buildings with their elevators do want to have a 13th floor button. That's a staggering number and shows just how powerful this superstition remains. Interestingly, this is largely a Western phenomenon. In many Asian cultures, the unlucky number isn't 13 at all. It's the number 4. Why? Because in languages like Mandarin, Cantonese, and Japanese, the word for sounds very similar to the word for death. This is called tetraphobia. As a result, you'll often find buildings in East Asia that skip the 4th floor, and sometimes even floors 14, 24, and so on. Some buildings might even skip all floors with the number 4 in them. So, the same psychological principle is at play, just with a different number. On the other hand, in some cultures, 13 is actually considered a lucky number. For example, in Italy, 13 is often associated with good fortune. The unlucky number there is 17 in ancient Rome. The Roman numerals for 17 could be rearranged to form the word vixi, which in Latin means, I've lived a polite way of saying I am dead. So, if you're ever in a hotel in Italy, don't be surprised if you can't find a room on the 17th floor. So, is it rational to be afraid of a number? Logically, no. A floor is just a floor, regardless of what number we assign to it. But human beings aren't always logical. Our fears, beliefs, and cultural traditions play a huge role in shaping the world around us, even down to the buttons in an elevator. The missing 13th floor is a fascinating monument to the power of a little piece of ancient mythology and folklore hidden in plain sight in our modern, concrete jungles. It's a reminder that no matter how advanced our technology gets, we're still influenced by the stories and beliefs passed down through generations. So, the next time you're in an elevator and notice that jump from 12 to 14, you'll know the story behind it. It's not a mystery, but a clever business decision driven by a very, very old fear. It's a silent nod to the power of psychology and architecture. What do you think? Is it silly to skip the 13th floor? Or is it a smart business move? Have you ever noticed this in a building near you? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more answers to fascinating questions. See you next time.